Welcome back to the Lonely Stoner podcast. I hope you've all had a wonderful day today. Let's get right into it. Okay, so I wanted to go over a couple things that I mentioned in yesterday's episode. Now, after yesterday's episode, a friend that I have who watches the podcast reached out to me, like at lunch today, and they told me, they were like, "Oh man, I went out and I didn't expect to see a Nirvana show, but I actually saw one." And that hearing that, it kind of made me like happy. It made me excited. I was like, finally, I'm right about something. I don't know. It just gave me a bit of dopamine, you know. Just hearing that one of my claims were true. Anyways, yeah, but that just proves my point that, you know, they're still massive to this day. Um, Anyways, no more yapping about Nirvana. I want to get into some serious topics today. I'm talking self-harm, um, and, you know, like, things along those lines, and what causes it. So, I was having a discussion with the same friend today, and we were talking about, like, exes and how, you know, our exes were in like a suicidal state and would, you know, harm themselves, and how that would put stress on us as their partner. And, you know, recently I found that like most people I talk to have early teenagers. I mean, I'm talking like in between the ages of 13 to 18. Most of them have harmed themselves before. I don't know if it's mainly in girls, because I don't see it as much as in guys, or they hide it better. But, you know, most girls have scars of self-harm on them. Like, I can't remember the last time I talked to a girl who didn't, which is kind of, you know, surreal. That us as a society have reached a point where, you know, children are growing up wanting to die and wanting to harm themselves to get away. And I think that's fucked up. Like, if you went back, let's say, not even 350 years, self-harm was so uncommon in, you know, teenagers. Like, that just wouldn't happen. Suicide would happen, but not, like, harming yourself, like cutting yourself, and, you know, stuff along those lines. And, it's gotta make you wonder, like, what's causing all this? Is it stress? Is it social media and, like, the expectations and societal standards that come with it? Is it, you know, an influx in another variable that, you know, I haven't taken into account? It's just, it's a trend now, harming yourself, which is it's crazy to think about, because no other animal, like not a singular animal on this planet, harms themselves for, you know, when they're, like, no other animal just cuts themselves. Most being not capable, but still the ones that are capable still don't. That might just be an intelligence thing, but still you get the point. We're the only animals that, you know, harm themselves for no reason. Or not for no reason, but to escape consciousness in a way. It's weird. It's really, it's sad. It's really sad to see. I've never considered hurting myself or cutting myself. So I just don't get what pushes all of these people to that point. And it's mainly girls I see doing it. I think girls have a hard time getting through life now. There's so many things that, fuck them up. Like social media, bullying. Bullying is at an all-time high just because it's so easy. And the more people with, you know, fuck, fucked up heads, the more bullying, you know, because it goes hand in hand. It's a, it's a, it's a bad trajectory, the way the world's going. And I hope something changes. I don't see it changing though, because there's no reason for it to change. And nobody's trying to change it. Nobody's capable of changing it, really. Which is, man, it's kind of a bad time to live in. But the world keeps spinning. That's what I tell myself when shit goes bad. I just tell myself that the world keeps spinning. And, it's gonna keep spinning no matter what happens. And it's not gonna wait for me. And that puts me at ease. Sometimes. That might stress some people out, but for me it puts me at ease. Because it makes me realize that I'm not that significant. Therefore, whatever's happening to me isn't that significant. And it helps. I know a lot of people that wouldn't help, but, it helps me. Whatever floats your boat, you know? Um, I try to live by the code of having no regrets in life. And looking back on it, I don't have many. I don't have like if I could go back, I would do nothing differently. Because then I wouldn't be where I am now, and I'm happy where I am now. And I could be in a better place if I did, go back and change something. But I could also be in a worse place, right? So you can't really. I don't see the point of regretting stuff. Because if you did go back, it would have been like a butterfly effect. You don't know where your life would be if you did something differently. Of course, there's extreme cases where, you should regret something, like, I don't know, drunk driving. I would regret that. That's why I wouldn't do it. If I know that I'd regret something, I wouldn't do it. That's a good way to live. I like that. If you're if you're capable of regretting something, don't do it in the first place. And that's kept me pretty safe. I want to talk about, a really big problem in society. One that I one that I'm pretty passionate about. And that's the safety of girls, of women, just in public. It, it it's I lose faith in humanity a little bit more every day when I hear about these horror stories about girls being abducted, abused, tortured, raped, kidnapped, just all of this horrible shit. And then you get to that part in the story where it's like, oh, they reported it to the police and the police didn't believe them. And, you know, they went on to get killed or worse, you know. I don't know what's worse than being killed, but I don't know, I'd rather be killed than tortured, to be honest. Like, yeah, it's... I really hate that about the world. I don't hate many things, but that I hate. Is that girls can't go out alone and feel 100% safe in most places of the world. That's fucked, man. That's really fucked. Like today I heard a despicable story about a girl who was being abused by her stepdad for 4 years from the ages 9 to 13, and she reported it to the police, and the police didn't believe her, and they charged her with giving them wrong information, and they forced her to write an apology letter to her abuser, and then sent her back, in which she was further abused until she had to record the abuse happening, and then he finally got arrested. That sends shivers down my spine, hearing about that. I've got shivers going down my spine now. That is disgusting. That is evil and despicable. That, I can't fathom how fucked up that is. 9 to 13. I have a 10-year-old sister, and I don't even want to imagine that. My sister having to record herself being abused just so she is believed by authority. That is so fucked. The world, it really is a shitty place. It's a shithole. But, you know, gotta keep living. World keeps spinning. World keeps spinning. I wish I could think of a way, or I wish there was a way to solve that problem. But I've thought about it a considerable amount, and I can't see a possible way to fix it without, like, you know, committing a genocide or something, like something extreme. But fuck, man, I feel like it's getting worse too. Like, there's no way this many cases were popping up in, you know, the olden times. It's just so sad, man, because like the statistics here in Australia, I did a speech on this for English in high school. It was, what was it, 1 in 5 girls by the time they were 15 years old had experienced sexual abuse or sexual assault. 1 in 5 girls. You've got a better chance of rolling a 6 when you roll a dice. Wait, fuck no. You've got a worse chance of rolling a dice and getting a 6 than walking past a girl and them not being a victim, you know? That's a disgusting statistic. Under 15, dude, by the time they were 15, 1 in 5 girls in Australia. And keep in mind, there's 26 million people in Australia, which means it's roughly, what, 13 million girls? 1/5 of that is 2.65, something like that. But that's a lot. That's a lot. It's disgusting, man. And that's the reported cases. That's not even the cases that aren't reported, which I'm sure there's a lot more of. I'm 100% sure there's more of. Man. Fucked. Absolutely fucked. I hope. Man. It's gonna suck. Cause like, when I'm out and about, you know, when I'm like riding around, you know, I purposefully, when I see a girl in front of me or a woman in front of me, I purposefully like get off the footpath and get onto the road just so she won't be like scared or like worried or anything, because I'm in a helmet with goggles on, like you can't see my face, and I know that that might be a bit frightening to some people, so I like to, you know, put people at ease by just getting out their way. One time actually, I was going about, riding about, and this woman saw me, and I was going like the same path as her, right? And she looked at me, and she was like on a phone call, and she looked at me and turned around and walked away. And I felt like shit. Like, what? That's, man. Fuck me, man. It sucks. It really, really does suck. I also haven't talked to a girl who hasn't been sexually assaulted in, you know, a hot minute. Fuck, man. There's nothing you can do about it either, besides report it. And even then, the statistics are like less than 50% of the reported cases get a conviction. It's like significantly less than 50%. Man. Oh, I think it's time to change topics. I don't want to go too deep into that. I want to talk about our brains and how amazing and complex the human brain is. All brains in general. Um, isn't it crazy how the human mind is capable of feeling high? That's just, if you really, really, really think about it, it's so bizarre that you can light, you can mix this little clump of cells with a bit of plasma, and then you inhale the product, and it alters your state of mind. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's, I'm sure if I did a bit of research, I'd somewhat understand. But even then, the human brain evolving to be able to do that is bizarre to me. Oh, it's just, it's weird. It's really, really weird. Just think really deep into it, you know? Just sit there in bed one time and think about how odd it is that we have evolved to be able to feel high and drunk, you know? And it's a crazier thought if you have been high before, because you know what it's like and you know how different it is to reality. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. I know people have different effects when smoking. And yeah. I don't know. Also, I think, there's a lot of negative stereotypes about cannabis, and I just don't get it, really. I really don't. I don't get why it's illegal. Obviously, it's got something to do with money, such as every law to ever exist. Like, shit, man, life would be so much better if weed was as normalized as, alcohol. Like, just imagine how happy the world would be and how much we'd get along if it was as normalized as alcohol was. Because alcohol, I'd argue it's worse for you. Or not worse for you, it's more damaging to society than weed is. And yet, alcohol is legal. You can walk into a store and buy it. And weed, you have to jump over all these hurdles, and it's illegal. Man, legalize marijuana, man. Hashtag legalize marijuana. Anyways, nah, but like, what what path did evolution take to allow us to feel that? Why? What's the evolutionary purpose of that feeling? Is it just, I don't know. Man, if someone has the answers, I would love to know. But yeah, like, there's so many stereotypes about weed and it being like bad and unhealthy, and it's literally called devil's lettuce. Like, it's stereotype is incorporated with the devil himself, which I don't get. I don't get. Just imagine. I, shit, man. Strange world we live in. I want to move to like Canada or something where it's fully legal. That'd be cool. And like Canada, you know how happy like Canadians are? That's a stereotype. How like nice Canadians are. And you know what else? Canada has legal marijuana. Ha. Funny that. Nah, I'm just playing. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, but like there's so many benefits of weed that people just, disregard entirely. Or they don't. Or they're too ignorant to know about. Like me personally, everyone's high is different, but me personally, I just feel like pure bliss and happiness whilst I'm high. And I also don't feel like shit afterwards. So for me there's no negatives, right? Which is amazing. It's like I can smoke and feel pure happiness and bliss for like 3 hours, and then just sleep like a baby and wake up refreshed and ready for the day. Why is that illegal? Like, just why is that illegal. Whereas alcohol, when I drink alcohol and get drunk, I throw up, I feel sick, I, I, it, I, it's just not a good experience overall. Until you're drunk, then it's fun. But like, I don't know. Maybe I've just like picked my poison, and I have a bias towards it. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone's got to pick their poison one day. Comment down below what's your poison. Is it coke, weed, alcohol, meth, Fent, horse tranquilizers, shrooms, acid, you name it, man. You name it. What else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about loneliness. I've talked about the stoner part. Now I want to talk about the lonely part. Loneliness is on an increase. It's at an all-time high right now. And it's not benefiting anyone, realistically. And it's weird because the world is it's so easy to talk to people now. You can just send them a message, right? And you can FaceTime them, and you can call them, and you can do all these things to socialize. And yet people are more lonely. I think that's bizarre. How we can live in such a hyper-connected society and still be lonely. Also, loneliness is just so sad, man. It's so sad to watch and to feel and to live through. It fucking sucks, man. And I don't even got it bad, man. There's people out there with absolutely nobody in their corner. And I can't even begin to imagine how just deprived of happiness they are. Like, a teacher told me this when I was in school, and it hasn't left my mind since. He said, loneliness is the worst possible punishment for a human. And you know, I heard that and I was like, surely there's worse, right? And then the teacher was like, well, just think about prison systems. You know, when to get punished, they put you in solitary confinement, and it deprives you of human contact, and that is a punishment for the worst of the worst people. And I mean, that clicked in my head instantly. And humans are such social creatures too. So it's, you know, it's not doing anyone any favors being lonely. I guess you kind of just gotta, you know, get comfortable hanging out with yourself, I guess, if you are lonely. I'm pretty comfortable with myself. I like, you know, I like myself as a person, and I think that's a really good quality to have. If you don't like yourself as a person, then you're gonna have a shit time. But if you can look in the mirror and, you know, be proud and be happy, your life is set. Like, I don't think that you've got anything to worry about. Like, you're the only person. You, yourself, is the only thing in this world you can control. Entirely. And for some people, it's rough. I mean, some people look in the mirror and just want to die. That's sad. That's that must be hard, not being able to look into a mirror or hating yourself that badly. And like the ones who are still alive, those are the strongest people. Because the people who can, go through all this shit and not end up killing themselves is, the people that make it out and the people that become stronger and are mentally strong, right? Let me think of an example. Um, Eminem, he had a fuck ass childhood, as he describes. If you're a fan of Eminem, you should know that he had a shitty childhood, and his life was horrible, right? Like he grew up with Munchausen syndrome. Is He didn't have a dad, which in of itself, like a father is so significant in everyone's life. Like look at the statistics. 90% of rapists or something like that don't have a dad. 90% of like murderers don't have a dad. I'm not fully sure in these numbers, but bear with me. Like all of the crime statistics, it's inflated in people without fathers in their lives. And that just shows how significant and important fathers are. And some people don't get that privilege. It shouldn't even be a privilege to have a father, it should be a human right. But some people, like Eminem, don't have a dad. Anyways, he grew up, he got beat up at school, he was bullied, he was broke, he was in poverty, he was being bullied, he had like a couple friends, and he survived. He thugged it out, right? And now look at him, he's like mentally strong now. Well, I think at least. But yeah, like looking through his discography and hearing about his life, it really opens your eye. Because even after he like got rich and stuff, he still struggled with things like his best friend died, proof, and that sent him into addictive spiral, addicted to sleep medication, and that he overdosed on that and nearly died. I mean, go listen to the song "A Rose" by Eminem, "Castle" and "A Rose," both of those songs in order, and it'll open your eye to the to like what his reality was. He describes what it was like to overdose and being in that hospital bed on the brink of death and hearing his daughters cry and hug him, and it's I'm getting shivers talking about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it'd be even more surreal if you've also survived an overdose, which luckily I haven't overdosed. I mean, but yeah, man, it would make you tear up. I promise you, man. I love music that has, like emotion in it, just like raw emotion. I can think of a couple artists that do it really well. Uh, Nirvana. Man, I love those guys. Nirvana, they've got emotion in their song. songs. Who else? Have you the song "Daddy" by Korn? That song is that's that song, in my opinion, is by far the most emotional and raw, heartbreaking song I've ever heard. It's barely even a song, mate. It's just a 19-minute, you know, therapy session for this guy, talking about how his, like, what was it, dad or stepdad, like, raped him, and how his mum didn't believe him or something along those lines. You get the point, but still, that's fucked. And it went for 19 minutes, and he was just bawling his eyes out on the song. And that's the type of music that I like. And like XXXTentacion, like in those songs where he just gets his fucking anger out. I love that shit. I love that shit so much. Anyways, it's getting to a pretty long episode today, so I think I'm gonna cut it off. I've still got some topics for tomorrow that I'm excited to talk about. Anyways, man, sorry for the late upload. Just got a little bit busy. Anyway, guys, see you. Have a great night.